Writing in 4th grade is difficult and unpleasant for most students, as they are expected to write for a variety of purposes. The Common Core state standards provide rigorous guidelines for teachers, as there is an expectation for students to provide text evidence when they write, along with making personal connections. As standards are raised and teachers are expected to prepare students for college or career readiness, the pressure becomes greater for all stakeholders involved. The confusion, however, exists, as I notice students forget writing instruction that has been taught over the years. In fact, they often demonstrate frustration and are not motivated to write with a purpose in mind. This leads me to my research problem. It is extremely difficult for 4th grade students to analytically write or write for any purpose in mind, yet is an expectation based on the Common Core state standards. As a result of my concerns, I began to assess the needs of my students. First of all, I administered a baseline writing prompt to determine the gaps in the skill levels of the 4th grade students regarding analyzing characters from a literary text. I also gave the students a writing prompt in response to an informational text that was read aloud. A rubric was used to assess the writing with a focus on 2 specific skills, providing text evidence and making inferences. These are 2 areas that the Common Core state standards focus on, as students are expected to perform at a proficiency level by the time they leave 4th grade. I also administered a writing attitude survey to see how students feel about writing and about themselves as writers, as I believe motivation and performance are interrelated in 4th graders. Lastly, I interviewed 6 fellow teachers ranging from grades 1 through 5. I did this in order to find out how and when writing instruction takes place in my building. The results of my needs analysis were not surprising. Out of the 42 students assessed, 63% of them failed to provide text evidence in their writing. 85% of the 4th graders neglected to make inferences and personal connections. The writing attitude survey revealed that 67% of the students do not like writing, while 5% were neutral. Out of the teachers surveyed, 92% focus on narrative and expository writing. The reason? Those are the writing genres tested the most. With the results from my needs analysis, I began to think about a variety of approaches that I could implement to improve writing instruction. Looking at my own teaching style, I decided to focus on a student-centered approach. As my focus was already set on a student-driven model, my research led me to read journal articles, books, and websites about inquiry-based learning. Experts revealed that the inquiry approach is focused on using and learning content as a means to develop information processing and problem-solving skills. Students are motivated to construct knowledge, and assessment is focused on determining the progress of skill development and content understanding, and is concerned with lifelong learning. Inquiry-based learning is deeply intertwined with the constructivist movement. And even though inquiry learning is not new, as it can be traced back to Socrates, research provided a solid background revealing that John Dewey was the first to bring inquiry-based learning to American schools. Strategies during inquiry-based learning lessons are important for the success of the students. According to Lev Vygotsky, students need to be supported in learning, as educators should provide examples for students so they can gradually learn without feeling frustrated. This is called scaffolding. When looking at the use of Web 2.0 tools to support inquiry-based learning strategies, I found that a curation of Web 2.0 tools have been used to support brainstorming, research, data collection, and presentation preparation. This brings me to a much-needed solution to my research problem. I plan to implement a scaffolding of inquiry-based learning strategies to improve my students' analytic writing skills. I will focus on utilizing a curation of Web 2.0 tools to support the students' learning throughout the instructional intervention. Rubrics will be used to provide formative assessment as the students move through the process of inquiry. A comparison will be made between the traditional writing approach and an inquiry-based learning approach to see if we have success. Hopefully, the end result will show improvement in analytic writing skills and motivation in my 4th grade students regarding writing instruction.